Park is our new map based on the shores of Hong Kong. As you can see, it is an abandoned theme park with a lot of overgrowth and this really central corridor. It has beautiful vistas overlooking Hong Kong and remnants of the once beautiful theme park. It has been taken over by these squatters, these drug lords, creating meth in the lobby, but there are also these remaining features like the haunted house, which is so beautiful and a little bit spooky. It is one of our
tree spawn point maps. It's a two-story high building. One main thing about it is that there's an ancient monorail section that splits the map in two on the second floor. What it gives, with two ramps on each side of the building, a really fast way for attackers to get into the heart of the building. As you can see, and for defenders, it's a really nice spot to cut off any rotations and to have good hiding spots and block off any rotations between the two stairs.
Yeah, or potentially between the two buildings as well.
Yeah.
As we'll see, this map is really broken down into two separate buildings, the east and west building, and then this corridor in the center, which is monorail, really creates that interesting transitions for attackers and defenders too.
Yeah. What we'd like to create with that is that we want to have fast rotations and fast repositioning while you want to attack or defend the objective. There's not much access from the outside, so you're going to be able to use that corridor and the rooms on the other side to get into that objective.
So a lot of potential for attackers to use those different rooms to bust into the bomb room here, which we're seeing. And obviously a really cool design too with the arcade machines and the meth lab there too. One of those kind of mixed signal things that I was talking about earlier.
That's a good example of it, yeah.
Yeah, and a couple little...
Attackers, to get into the objectives and plant, you're going to have to commit to that open area where defenders are going to be able to predict where you're coming from really more easily and in a more open space.
So a lot of long line of sight angles, a lot of places where you might have to hold that angle as a defender and block off a couple different corridor aggressive approaches. Something that we'll also take a look at when we reveal the new operators as well with Amelia. I mean, those defender operators may come...
A lockdown place for defenders to use. Also, the attackers have a lot of small pocket rooms to get inside this objective. So I believe defender was going to spread out and they need to control all the surroundings of the objective more than the objective itself.
So a lot of spread out defenses that we might see here on defense. But obviously, once again, it's really kind of a cool looking map. You saw the cult things there too. What's going on there?
Yeah, it's an ancient art and the level design comes into play together. You can see we kept the rail track for the cart that used to follow the whole haunted house.
It's so spooky, Naj.
It's spooky.
It's so spooky.
And you can see
Zanzibar has a personal message for
we still kept some really cool moments like that. What it brings to us as well is that it's a way for players to orientate themselves by following the tracks, and it leads to the objective.
Right.
For the objective itself, a lot of small rooms, as you can see with the luminosity, the lighting, and the small covers, we try to encourage some kind of hide-and-seek moments in there, and Haunted House is the perfect place for that.
Yeah, Haunted House is a perfect place, and that rail really gives you a lot of visual intelligence.
Yeah. Obviously, the people are testing in time, but I think a really good part of it is that you're kind of forced inside, and there's not as many deep line of sights into the map from the outside, as opposed to some other maps where you can kind of just take bomb sites from without even stepping into the building. So it forces the attackers to take the fight inside, which is really interesting and a lot more fun to play, in my opinion. Also, the verticality is really nice. Verticality is always good. Adds a lot of variation in terms of defense and attack. And then lastly, I'd say the close quarters combat is always a lot of fun.
Now, you've had a lot of time on this map in pro player test sessions, and also a ton of the players here at Gamescom themselves have had hands-on time with this new map at the booth, playing it all week long. What map would you say it's sort of similar to?
I don't think there's any specific map, I'd say. If I had to pick anything, it would be kind of the dining kitchen, and as well as the kids' bedroom side of Oregon, just in terms of the proximity of it all. but there's not really a map that's too similar to it in terms of layout.
All right, great. Thank you so much.